everyone, so today I am bringing you the update for January for my project Perfume. So as you can see, this update is coming to you halfway through February. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day, and that's because I had a bit of a rocky start to February for this project. So we're going to do some rejigging, and I'll get to that in a moment, but first I'll update you on how I went in January. So if you've been following this project since November, you know that every month I pick a full-size bottle from my collection to use 15 times. For January, I chose my all-time favorite fragrance by Byredo's Pulp, and I'll have a little comparison photo up here for you to show you what 15 uses looks like on the Byredo bottle. This was kind of my big fear with this project, was that 15 uses wouldn't look like anything, and that's kind of how it goes with this Byredo bottle. Because they are so short and fat, it means that 15 uses doesn't look like a whole lot on the usage on the side. So as you can see from the photos, it hardly looks like I've made any progress, but I did use Byredo's Pulp 15 times in January, which was really lovely because this is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I also chose to finish up a miniature. This was the Cien Bon Eau de Thé and Gingembre, and I did manage to finish that up. It was about 2/3 full when I started it in January, and I managed to use up about 10 mils worth. I really like this scent. It's a really nice, bright, kind of not necessarily spicy, but like really fresh ginger kind of scent, and I did really enjoy it. I would purchase another 10 ml of this. I think it's a really lovely light scent. For my samples, I chose 3 to finish. First one was Padme from Meta Scent, and I did finish that up, so there's a little bit in the bottom that won't spray out. This is a water lily kind of light aquatic scent, really pretty but not for me. I also finished up this really tiny sample. I do believe this was from the brand Healy, and I don't remember what scent it was, but it smelled very, very salty, and there was very little left, but I finished that one as well. And then I had a third sample, and that was Gallagher Fragrances Bergamust, and to be completely honest, I forgot about this scent. I completely forgot that I had tried to use it up in January, so I still have about half of the fragrance left. So you'll probably remember that also in January I rolled over my miniature from December, which was the House of Oud Keep Glazed miniature, and I said when I used it in December that I might end up decluttering it, and then in January I decided to keep it, and here we are in February, and I have since passed it on to a friend of mine. It just wasn't a scent for me. There's something about it that didn't work for me. It wasn't entirely unwearable, but at the same time I have so many fragrances that I love wearing. I would rather spray those than one that's I'm tolerating, so that fragrance has left my collection. Then my plan for February, the fragrance that I chose to use 15 times in February, was the Mugler Angel Nova. That's this one here. I'll also have a little photo of where it was at the beginning of February. This was the scent that I planned to use 15 times throughout the month. I used it 5 times, and then I hit a bit of a wall. I don't really like this fragrance very much. It was an impulse purchase at the end of 2020 because it was limited edition, and I'd had so few opportunities to buy perfume in 2020 that when I saw it in the store on sale, I picked it up without really thinking about it. And of the 5 times that I used it in February so far, I just can't get on with it. It's too harsh. It smells quite synthetic to me. It's a lychee raspberry scent with very little to none of the original Alien DNA in it, and it just isn't really for me. So I decided I'm going to pull this out of the project. I'm not interested in forcing myself to use it another 10 times. I might come around to it later. It kind of feels to me like a body spray kind of choice. So when I just want something that's not too serious, when I'm not really going anywhere, this is the kind of scent that I'm interested in. I'm also thinking about using it as a room spray. I've asked friends if they want it, and it's not really their taste either, so we're gonna hold on to it, but I am taking it out of the project. So along with the House of Oud Keep Glazed, I went through the rest of my miniatures as well and decided to pull another one out of the project. This is a perfume oil from a brand called Yalu, which I believe is an independent skincare company in Australia. This is their scent Cocktails and Caftans. Like I said, it's a fragrance oil, and it's 15 ml, so I thought I might be able to use this up over the summer. But when I decided to pull it out to kind of test it a little bit to see what I thought of it, I just don't like it that much either. So I haven't found anyone who's interested in taking this off my hands, so I'm probably going to keep it in my collection, but I'm not interested in using it up. I'm just going to put it aside and hold on to it. So those two fragrances that I've pulled out from my miniatures are the main changes to my miniatures, and then the full size that I decided not to use in February is another change to this project as well. But I have one more change that I want to talk to you about. So at the beginning of this project, I had 17 samples, and I wanted to finish all of them by the end of 2021. Since November, I have acquired about 30 new samples. I'll show you them to you briefly. So I ordered some things from Lucky Scent and received some samples in December, but I also purchased 2 sample sets. So the first one I purchased is from the brand Carousell. Carousell's an independent niche brand from the US, and I did purchase their full sample set, so that's 19 samples. And then in addition to that, I purchased the sample set from a brand Another, don't really know how to say it, and this came with all of their fragrances as well, which is 5. And I acquired one more sample. This is just the one single sample from Celine. It's the Saint Germain des Prés sample. I don't know if I'm saying that right, probably not at all, but I did also get this sample in addition to the Kerosene, Lucky Scent, and Another samples. So while I have finished a significant amount of the samples that I started this project with, I have more than doubled, I think nearly tripled the amount of samples that I still have. And I thought to myself, instead of keeping those out of the project for the rest of the year and only finishing the 17 I started with, I want to incorporate the ones that I have purchased since November into this project as well. So that means that I probably won't be able to finish all of them by the end of 2021, especially if I'm still trying to finish up my miniatures. But I do want to be able to cycle through them as I'm interested in trying them. So if you're interested in keeping up with the numbers, originally I started this project with 17 samples. I'm currently sitting at approximately 42 samples. I also started the project with 13 miniatures, and at this point in the project I have 10. So my plan for the rest of February is I'm going to pick one miniature and a handful of samples, and I'm going to try and finish those as opposed to adding in another full size that I can only use for the rest of the 15 days of the month. So for the rest of February, I want to finish up this miniature. This is the Herbario Toscano Primavera Toscana. This is a really bright citrus, kind of springy scent. I'd like to finish up this vial. I'll also be rolling over the Bergamust from Gallagher Fragrances that I didn't manage to finish up in January. I completely forgot about it, but I will definitely be able to finish up this little half vial. I'd also like to finish up this sample from Ellis Brooklyn. This is the scent Myth, which I believe is also a water lily fragrance. I've got very little of it left there, and it is my last Ellis Brooklyn sample, so it'd be really nice to roll that out in the rest of February as well. So I hope all of those changes make sense, and you can see why I've kind of moved things around and expanded and contracted in different areas of my collection. The whole purpose of this project is to get through the samples and miniatures that I've accumulated, as well as focusing on the rest of my collection as well. So the main purpose really is to just keep things rotating, keep changing, and not really forcing myself to use things if I don't actually like them. I have so many fragrances that I love wearing that it doesn't really make any sense to me to put the effort into finishing something that I don't love when I could be doing that with something I do. So I hope you followed along. I know in March, in my update in about 2 weeks time, things will kind of even out. We'll be back to the same plan that I had back in November. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what kind of fragrances you've been wearing recently, and how do you feel about Angel Nova? Does that kind of suit your styles? Because I'm just not finding it working for me at all. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.